What's up, everybody? This week we talk about Zoran winning the mayoral race in New York City. Pretty dope. We talk about Halloween. We talk about marathons. We talk about Adam's family values. All that and more on this episode of
Drew, wanna know.
Welcome back, guys. Drew want to know this week. Oh, big news, right? Mondani becomes mayor of New York City. That's pretty sick. Awesome. Great. I'm excited to never pay my rent again. I'm pretty excited about that. It was a good day. It was a good thing. It was a fun because I was telling people that I like that it was fun to have a candidate that you were excited about that was hopeful, and not just a evil piece of garbage, I feel like all of the something you were excited about, it just wasn't like, well, it's either evil or kind of nothing, like that you're kind of what is happening. I feel like the Democrats have kind of been like, well, we'll kind of keep putting up the same people to be consistent or whatever, and I feel like that's not necessarily like the greatest plan of all time, but. Yeah, I feel like the last couple races have been like, it's like kind of like, what tastes better, super evil cabbage or just like regular cabbage? You're like, well, I guess like regular cabbage, I guess, but they're not great. This one felt like I feel like the mayoral race felt like it was like, what tastes better, 2-day old French fries that you had to reheat in an oven? Or like a pretty sick cookie, I feel like that was kind of like a new young cookie, like a brand new cookie. I feel like that was pretty cool. It was cool to see everyone having fun and celebrating for once, opposed to being like, oh, whatever. But anywho, it doesn't matter. I feel like we definitely can be excited. I think that's cool and everything. I just think we also do need to be like, this dude at the end of the day is a politician, and I think we need to, make sure he hits some of those things that he was promising, because that's why you elect people. So we need to be on top of that too, but also it was so funny because before the end, like the last couple of days, he's been all over Brooklyn, going to parties and going to house EDM house parties and stuff like that, and clubs. And I feel like I'm a little bummed I didn't run into him. I feel like I'm around that stuff a lot, and he and I never saw him. He was everywhere, and I never got to see him. I saw Mayor Adams at a party once. That was pretty funny. Eric Adams. I remember being at the party. We were hanging out, and my friend goes, "Oh, is that the mayor?" And I look over, and I'm like, "It's Eric Adams, just hanging out at a party, hitting on women." It was crazy. I was like, I don't know if I trust this mayor. He's just chilling at a party with a solo cup. Like, he's here. Like, he's not. This isn't like a campaign thing. He's just at this party. I don't know. It was crazy. But when all that stuff came out about him with the whole Turkish government thing, I was like, that dude did it for sure. From what I saw, I was like, that guy, no, not good. No amount of trash can is gonna help that guy out. But happy about it. It's pretty cool. Hopefully things work out. That's what you always hope for. Um, you know, hope that the people in need get what they need. That's probably my general look on everything. But whatever. It's cool though. But we had a good, interesting week in New York. It was Halloween. This is the trifecta of New York: Halloween, marathon, daylight savings time. So on Halloween night, you get to party longer, but your sleep's a little messed up for the marathon. So it's there. I like Halloween in New York. I'm not a big dresser upper. I'll say that. I don't do that. Um, and but I respect a good costume. I respect people who make really great costumes. I am a lover of costumes. I like costumes. I don't like to wear them. I'm not just not that person. I respect like people that have the time to do it. I have friends who do like fabrication things, and it's just like they make such great costumes that I'm like I feel like me trying to do like like the bare minimum or whatever is kind of like an insult. I'd rather not do anything than try to than be like a half-ass costume or something like that. You know? Like there's people that just walk around with like a witch hat and they're like and then like they're like in just regular clothes and they're like I'm part of this. It's like you're kind of not. Like I don't know. Like I feel like that makes me angry more than anything. It's like when you go to Comic Con and people that do cosplay, like the people who do cosplay. Like I don't know if you follow the people on TikTok and stuff, but some of these people make incredible stuff, and it's super awesome. Worn, it like all looks like old and stuff. So cool. You go to Comic Con and someone will like walk in with like a Target Halloween costume and be like, "We're the same." They're like, You're not though." It's just like ah. It's maddening. Like I went to the Wizard World of Harry Potter, and someone went with a witch hat with the hair on it, and I'm like, when was this? When was this ever part of this? Like what? Like you're trying to be like, oh, we're really into it, but like I'm like I don't know. It's I love great costumes, and I love saying stuff to people in costumes about the characters, like super like with little details. I it never works out because it's like normally they don't know about it and it's fine and it's just me who thought this thing. But like the first time I was in New York, which is a great place for Halloween because I love the aftermath of Halloween in in New York. You like go around the streets and there's just like maleficent like horns everywhere and just like cat whiskers everywhere, cat ears everywhere. It's like there's someone who just like dressed up and throughout the night was like, no more costume everywhere. Um, but the first time I was ever in New York, it was the first Halloween party I ever went to. Um, there was a woman dressed as Darth Vader, like a sexy Darth Vader, which I thought was pretty awesome. I didn't know asthma was sexy. That's pretty sick. And walk up to her, and um, I have this because I had to walk up because I have this thing in my head. I have to say to someone, I'm like, there's no way anyone would connect these things. I've connected them, and I have to say this to another human being. This is one of those moments where you have to like you kind of have to say stuff to people. And I I walk up to this woman, this is Darth Vader, and say, "Hey, I have a question." She goes, "Yeah, what's going on?" And I said, when you drink vodka, do you still stick with specifically Absolute vodka?" She looks at me, obviously unsure of what I'm trying to say. I say, "Well, you're Darth Vader, and Sith Lords only deal in absolutes." Eh? Terrible, right? But had to say it. I came up with it. I was like, got to say it to someone. Someone else has to hear this. So understandably, she doesn't understand. I explained it to her. And this is kind of what bugged me. She kind of goes, I'm like probably the only one that would get that reference here. And I'm kind of like, you didn't though. I did have to explain it to you so that you didn't technically get it. Um, and it was so funny because she did it in like a kind of like a flirtatious way, which I didn't pick up on. And uh, so I've been in this situation before. I feel like I know that this isn't going anywhere else. So I kind of start walking away as we're talking, and then she kind of puts her hand on my shoulder and goes, "Oh, where are you going?" And instead of saying something cool or witty or anything like that, I just said, "Oh, I didn't have anything else to say." I couldn't say anything. She starts talking to me about alcohol, and I'm like, there's a point where I'm like, clearly I came over here to talk about Star Wars. Come on, that's why I'm here. Star Wars, not vodka. But that was me. That was me just denying an opportunity. It was a fun time, though. I love New York in general, like everything, every holiday they do They do it bigger than everywhere. St. Patrick's Day here is insane. It's a huge parade. People are just drinking. The marathon, people are just drinking. St. Patrick's Day, I remember one of my favorite things that ever happened was on the West 4th Street McDonald's is where they shot Big Daddy when he goes to go get the Happy Meal, the breakfast at McDonald's, but he's like late for it, right? I walk in at the door of the McDonald's. There's a guy so drunk that he can't open the door. The door is a little sticky, like stuck a little bit. So he just couldn't figure it out. So I help him in. I'm like helping him in, whatever. And go up, I get order. I order. All of a sudden, I start like I'm waiting for my meal. I hear like screaming from over here. Look over. That guy, his girlfriend is like, we're done. We're never gonna see each other again. It's over. It's done with. And like just screaming it at him, like breaking up with this guy. And I'm like, oh man. And I get my food. And I'm like, okay, cool. I should probably get out of here. And I go to the door, and that guy is now trying to get out of the McDonald's. Again, stuck because he can't open the door because he's too drunk to open the door. So, and then I opened the door for him and let him out. And I felt bad about that for a pretty long time. You know, I just helped this drunk man just uh, you know, go in and break up with his girlfriend. Maybe that wouldn't have happened. I don't know, but I don't know. That's what you get for being a good Samaritan, I guess. It was the whole thing, man. Oh, the marathon, man. I applaud those people. I know some people are like, oh, the marathon. You can shut up. We don't care about the marathon. Dude, listen, I get it. If I ran 26 miles, I would never shut up about it. I signed up. I did not run. I signed up for the Brooklyn Half Marathon, and I did not run it. It got canceled because of COVID, and I bring it up a lot. And I didn't run it. I just bring it up a lot. You know, it's one of those things. It's like I was a little drunk at a bar talking about marathons. It may have just kind of been like, oh, they're not that bad. It's not a big deal, you know, like whatever. Just be argumentative, and someone goes, well, you wouldn't do it. At least I think that's what happened. I don't know. It might be in my head that happened. Some people have said that no one dared me to do it, but I heard it. There was an implication that I would not do it. So I woke up the next morning a little hungover and just like looked at, and I was like, and they're like, congratulations, you signed up for the Brooklyn Half Marathon. I was like, oh no, what did I do last night? Oh no. Some people sleep with the wrong people. I signed up for 13 miles of running. Bigger mistake, I would argue. Um, I kind of trained a little bit. I was like, oh, well, I'm doing it. I guess I got to do it, right? You know, you can't chicken out at that point, right? So you got to go. You got to do it. Yeah, I ran on a treadmill a couple times. People would ask me if I'm training, and I would be like, no. And then I realized that really made people mad. The people will be very angry if you're running a marathon. They're like, you have to train. You got to train. I'm like, I don't know. I was just like, I'll do some stretching, do like one of those, like a little bit. I'll be fine. And everyone's like, lose it. And then I realized that now COVID is starting to come out and people are starting, lockdowns are starting to happen. And I'm just like, the whole time I'm like, whoa, maybe the marathon will get canceled and I'll have to do it. So I'm just sitting there watching the numbers go up. Come on, like cancel it. Everyone was, during COVID was like, oh no, like when they canceled everything. Everyone was like, oh no, COVID. I was like, thank God this happened, and I did not have to have to run this half marathon. I would have done it, but it is what it is. And also, like, so on Halloween, the wife and I, we watched the Addams Family movie, and Addams Family Values. Let me tell you, when I would love movies like this more often. I would love to see movies that are just fun. There's no, it's just a fun, hilarious movie. I miss those. I feel like we don't have them anymore. And I know people are like, they don't sell, like, blah, 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 and whatever, but like, I don't know. Everything is so serious. and everything has to have like this dark undertone, but it can have elements of being silly. Like, why can't we just like the new Naked Gun is probably the closest we got recently, and I would love like all the '90s movies. They're just like they're fun. American Pie, and Ace Ventura and The Mummy, and like all that stuff. Like they're action adventure, they're serious things, but they're fun. They're fun movies. Like what I loved about the new It movie that came out like a little bit ago with the first part with the kids. I loved how like you watch it and you're like, they had fun making this. This is a fun. This. I feel like the new series, the Welcome to Derry or whatever it's called, that is kind of in that zone of like it's. I remember I watched the first episode going, this is pretty fun. This is a fun ride. This is creepy as hell, and I love it. I love these little gags. Anyway, that's just what we're talking about this week. But anyway, it's a good week. Thank you guys for tuning in to Drew Wanna Know. Again, we have run a show every Tuesday, Big Wave Comedy. We had a good show last night, and yeah, I think if you and I'm taping a special at Broadway Comedy Club in the Red Room, November 22nd, with Maggie Naughton, Cody Lewis, Eric B, and myself, doing some long times, doing some taping. Not with my camera because I broke the lens this week. And that's why there's only one angle on this episode. But yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be super fun. Yeah, if you can make it, and follow, like, and subscribe to this episode, and we'll see you guys all next time on
Drew, wanna